section where we build an application using Replit and get familiar with agentic coding. So a couple of words about us. I'm Ruslan. I Chief Technical Officer at Hyperskill and Advantium. It's a platforms that use AI to enhance learning through hands-on projects and personalized microlearning. Also with me today, Sofia. Sofia is a technical recruiter and HR at Hyperskill. She's an example of person that with not non-technical background, but with the help of AI, she became an expert and automatizations and AI, and automated a lot of stuff in her work.
Yeah, that's true. I automate a lot of stuff daily. I use ChatGPT a lot, and also I try to use Replit, which we're going to be discussing, which we're going to be talking about today. So I guess I can share my experience as well from the perspective of a person without without technical background. Maybe it will be useful. Okay.
Yeah. So today we will cover at first how AI is changing software engineering. We will have a quick recap of timeline of tools when and how LLMs changed software engineering. Also, we take a look at tools that are available to us, like Cursor, Replit, Devin. And after that, we will build an app with Replit. And while we're building, I will provide you an approach that you can use to build apps in AI agentic workflows and how to get better results from these AI coding tools. Also, we take a look at Replit features and at the end compare Replit with other similar tools so you can choose the best one for yourself.
And before we proceed to the next slides, I'd like to say a few words how today's webinar is working. You can send reactions. You can try to send reactions now. For example, if you have some experience with AI tools, please send some reactions and also try to send reactions. And we have Q&A section where you can ask questions, which we will be answering on later today. And I see so many reactions. It means that many of you have already tried something related to AI, which is great, because today we are going to be discussing something very useful and practical which you can also implement to your work routine or your non-work related things. So yeah, thanks for sending reactions, and please remember that you can ask questions in the Q&A section. Okay, we can move on.
Yeah. Let's start with a quick poll so we can better understand our audience today. So have you ever used the git commit command in Git? If you don't understand what is it, just answer no. And if you use that command, answer yes. And while you're answering, we'll go to the next slides and review the results later. So basically, what is Replit? But before going to Replit, we will take a look at timeline of AI tools that emerged after the advancement in LLMs. So the first publicly available and very popular tool that was the GitHub Copilot that was released in June of 2022. After that, in March of 2023, Cursor IDE was released, the first versions that also were publicly available. And in November of 2023, we had GitHub Copilot with GPT-4 and more advanced and upgraded version of GitHub Copilot. So the 2022 and 2023 we can call like a smart autocomplete era. It's an era when LM-based tools were used mainly for autocomplete and other simple stuff. And with 2024, we entered like AI agentic era with the first of release of Devin. And after Devin, we got Cursor Composer in Cursor IDE. And after that, in September, we got Replit and Bolt tool that also similar to Replit and will help users to build and complete AI applications and mobile apps.
How are these tools from agentic era are different from tools from smart autocomplete era that you mentioned before? How they are different?
Yeah, so the basic difference between these tools are that smart autocomplete era, mainly LM tools worked with current file that you worked on, and it suggests one line or shortcode blocks for that file. Also, it could be used for code explanations, refactoring, and required like human oversight and manual corrections. When AI agentic coding era started, AI started to play and AI started to be able to solve more complex tasks, like multi-step tasks, and AI started to write plans, works with entire project structure, and modify different files, and also it can integrate APIs, you work with databases, and implement UI logic. So it's more advanced tools entered the market. So how all of these tools impacted software engineering in numbers? So according to McKinsey, 70% of repetitive work could be automated with AI, and it's true. And coding is kind of among this repetitive work. Also, we have a survey results from JetBrains that were held in 2024. So before agentic tools, but with results from autocomplete tools, and it shows that lots of respondents noticed that save time by using these tools, and 9% of them said that they saved more than 8 hours per week. So it's like a whole day where you can do something more complex and more like non-repetitive work, but more sophisticated work, I guess. So
I guess it's very illustrative data here that we see on the previous slide, that some people are able to automate the main part of their work by using AI tools. And it means that they are either using some like advanced AI tools that do all the work for them, or they know how to use it right. So this data here that like most of the respondents say that like about 2 hours per week they save by using AI tools means that maybe they are not seeing the full potential of AI tools, because some of them are already able to automate so many things. So yeah, and the tool that we will be discussing today is right about this thing, as I understand.
Yeah.
And we also see the data from the pool, and we see that over 80% of today's participants are somehow related to development, which is great. So we can not explain so many simple things, but we still have 19% of participants who are not familiar with coding. So maybe we will need to explain like some things in simpler terms, I guess. Thanks for sharing your experience.
Yeah, thank you. So let's talk about Replit. So Replit is one of the examples of tools that use and demonstrates AI agentic coding. Replit can generate full stack application from a single prompt, and it can help automate coding, debugging, and deployment, and all of that can be done with help of AI. So you don't have to debug application, AI can debug it, and you will see it later in the webinar. And deployment is as easy as like pressing just one button that called deploy. So it overall helps build project faster with AI-driven assistant. So
And before
without
we move
any...
on, I also would like to mention that, like, as we see from today's participant, that not all of them are they're not all of their work related to development. So it means that like Replit app is applicable to any kind of work, any kind of automation. So you don't have to be developer, or you don't have to have some understanding of coding. You don't necessarily need that. You can just have an idea and you can try this idea in a web app by Replit. So moving on, we will see how it works. So you won't really need any coding background or coding skills or understanding how the code works. However, if you already have these skills, it will benefit you because you will be able to understand scripts and everything in a little bit more detail, which is great.
Yeah, so let's move on and build some app in Replit. First of all, usually when you want to build some app, you have an idea, and it's great to translate that idea to user stories. What is user stories? Basically, it's a list of actions that you want to perform in your app, or your users want to perform in your app. To build a list of user stories, we will use ChatGPT. The idea of the app that we will build today is an app that will help somehow me to learn Spanish. So I will use this prompt that you can see below, and we pass it to ChatGPT and look at what it will provide us with. While ChatGPT is answering us, I describe what I used in prompt. So first of all, I uh, tell told ChatGPT that what role it should act as. Um, in that case, it's experienced product manager, as product managers usually write user stories. So after that, I specified the task for ChatGPT, so to select user stories for my web app. Uh, After that, I provide some context about my app. So it's an app to learn Spanish. And after that, I asked to provide 10 user stories for MVP. If you do not write MVP, it will provide very complicated user stories. So it's better to use MVP here. And I also explicitly specified do not overcomplicate, because it tries to overcomplicate each time. And be concise, because it tries to write a lot of text, and I don't want to read all that. So
For those who may not know, what does MVP stand for? What does it mean?
Minimal valuable
Product, I guess.
product. Yes.
Okay, so it means that it's the like first version of the product, right?
Yeah, it's the first version of product that demonstrates value proposition of that product to users. So users can understand, do they want to use it, and is the product solves their does the product solves their problem, or not.
Mm-hmm. So it means that um, in the MVP, only the main features are included, but then there can be additional features.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have a list of 10 user stories here, and as good practice for MVP is to choose three or four of these user stories. So we will build a simple app, and AI agent will not get stuck in some details. So let's have a look at them and choose three of them. So the first one is I want to create account so I can save my progress. I advise you not to integrate authentication in the first version of your application in Replit because it complicates things and it might be hard for agent to integrate it at first. So it's better to not include in the first version. So focus on other uh, features. I think we should take third one. So I will be able to practice vocabulary with flashcards and remember new words. Also, I think the fourth one is good, so I can listen to pronunciation. And I think I would like to have progress, so I can track my progress over the time. So let's take three of them. But before, after we got the user stories and selected three user stories, next step is to convert them to PRD. PRD stands for Product Requirements Documents, and that document defines the features, functionality, and technical details of the project. So a real developer or a Replit agent can understand what to build and make less mistakes. So we'll use another prompt. It's kind of simple prompt, and we use it in the same dialog here. So we selected the third one. Fourth one. And a progress history. So the prompt is simple, and I asked ChatGPT to write a PRD for the following user stories and specify that at MVP again because it will overcomplicate each time. And I ask it to focus on functional requirements and domain logic because usually it adds to PRD technical details, but we don't need it because Replit can select it for us. And also, do not overcomplicate, as you might expect. So let's create a PRD.
While it's creating the PRD, I have a question. You've chosen the feature that will allow you to practice your speaking skills, right? So it means that we will do some kind of integration with external service, or how will that work? Will it be possible to build such feature?
Yeah, you can make integrations with OpenAI, and OpenAI usually have you can use Whisper, I guess, from OpenAI or from other providers, and Whisper can translate from make text to speech. But in that application, I choose that I want to listen to native pronunciation, but don't uh, uh, speak in Spanish and check my pronunciation. So I think Replit will use native browser API for that. So we don't need to
Okay.
use integrations, but we can if you want. So yeah, we got the PRD here. And basically when you got the PRD, you want to check it for something that looks strange to UI. It basically has a description how each feature should work. And you can read it yourself, like each line, and think, is it okay for you or not? Because sometimes it can add details that you don't want and you don't need. And it's okay to remove them. So you don't have to paste the whole PRD to Replit later. You can select only the parts you agree with and you want with. And also, if you don't like it, you can ask ChatGPT to fix something if you want. Let's have a quick look. But I think for the sake of speed, we will paste everything except for out of scope for MVP because it's out of scope. We will not include technical considerations because Replit will figure it out itself, and success metrics because it's not for Replit, it's for product managers, I guess, and we don't need it right now. So I will edit it right here. Remove the upper part and remove the free later parts with technical details and product metrics details. So let's copy it and open Replit. Here you can see interface of Replit, and I will paste the PRD we got in the chat here. Also, I will add design reference. So for design reference, I use hyperskill page. So it should use design of hyperskill. We'll check later. So let's start building an app.
While it's building, maybe you can show us the interface of the Replit and how it looks like and what should you pay attention to.
Yeah, sure. Just after it asks me the first question, because the first question of Replit is usually what features we want to implement first. So it's important to answer this question. And after that, we can explore Replit while building the stuff. So let's take a look. Additional features that it offers us. Так, multiple accent, we will build it, social features, custom validation. I think we stick to our plan and won't add any features from the list. So let's build an app. And while it's building, let's take a look at Replit interface. So Replit features. Basically, Replit allows you to build full stack applications. You can build backend application, front-end application, apps that have front-end, apps that have database integration with Postgres, and you can deploy an app with Replit. But you don't have to use all of this. If you want to build only backend application, you can build only backend application. You don't have to build everything in one. So also
But
Replit has.
how do you specify if you want to build, for example, just the backend application without any interface?
Usually Replit can figure it out itself from the PRD. Or you can specify it right in PRD. So like you can say here it's backend application, like at the top, I think, or in section with technical details or considerations. So also Replit has a very useful integration with different services. So you can connect external services like OpenAI, as we said before, Google AI, Anthropic, Perplexity, Mistral, and you can build AI applications basically with these integrations. Also, you can connect Google Documents, Slack, Discord, so you can automate some tasks with documents, and you can combine all these tools and automate tasks with documents with help of AI, like Bingo. Also, you can easily integrate Stripe here and collect payments from your users and HubSpot. Aside from that, Replit provides its own services like database, key-value storage, where you can store some simple data, object storage, where you can store like images or some files, and a notification service that helps and makes it easier to integrate authentication in your app. So as I can see, Replit built us some first prototype and asks us to test it. So it asks us to interact with the flashcards in the first tab. Let's try that. I can't flip up. So let's tell the feedback to Replit and it should fix the issue.
So basically, Replit asks you questions, and all you have to do is answer them.
Yeah, basically, yes. And all the questions Replit asks you usually are simple questions that do not require any technical knowledge from you. Usually you work as a QA engineer and test and manually test your application and give feedback to Replit. And that's all the workflow. So while we're waiting for the next action from Replit, let's continue with additional features of Replit. Also, Replit can work with external APIs if you provide it with the link to the documentation or documentation itself in form of text. And it can copy design from other websites. Also, you can change design based on your screenshot at any time. I have here another project where I did it. So if you take a look at the first version of design, it looked like that. So like uh, kind of orange, yes. And after that, I asked it to make design in style of hyperskill and provide it with the same screenshot. And after that, I've got following designs that look a bit better in my taste. So it's you can do it at any time, and it should not make any issues. Okay, so we have another message from agent. So let's try to flip. All right, so now we got some kind of flip. Could you try? Yes, it works. Okay, so it should go to the next point in its plan. Let's continue. So who can use Replit and for what purpose? Replit can be used by software engineers to build prototypes of applications and test ideas faster. Also, it can be used by product managers and other people that work in products for the same purpose. And you can use Replit to debug, refactor, and collaborate with your team in real time because it has such features. And everyone can use Replit to automate workflows, optimize repetitive tasks, and create web apps like without any coding skills. And you can also generate AI-powered business tools to optimize your workflows. It's very useful and easy for that purpose. Okay. So Flipkart's interaction. Oh, it says us that it finished an app. Okay, we can switch cards. Oh, okay. Maybe we have another error. Let's ask Replit to fix it. Uh, Replit can make screenshots of the pages, so you don't have usually provide exact error, and it will make screenshot of the page and find it and fix it. So also Replit has Replit agent and Replit assistant. And what are the difference between these two AI coding tools inside Replit? And usually you should use agent to build apps from scratch, as we do now. And you can agent can change a lot of code. It can rewrite an application if you need. And assistant usually is used for adding more features to existing project and iterating on these features, because it's make less changes and respects code base more and usually breaks stuff that already working less.
But
So
how do you import your project and work with the assistant?
You can easily import your project from the home page. If I remember correctly, there should be some kind of button to import from Git or GitHub, and it's very so you have button here, import from GitHub, and you can do it easily here if you already have like project in GitHub. Okay. Agent says that it fixed navigation. Like, let's take oh, so we have pronunciation tab now. We can try to play. I don't know if you can hear, but I can hear. So it kind of works. Okay, when you a new error.
You said it works. How does that sound?
It sounds okay, I guess.
Okay.
It's sound hola in Spanish. Before that webinar, I've tried to build this application 3 times with Replit, and each time you get different results. And it's kind of the specific thing with AI agentic coding, that you sometimes it's okay to start over again, because AI agent may stuck in some issue, and or it can generate some strange UI, and it may be easier to start over with the same prompt or with a bit changed prompt, because building an apps with Replit is kind of easy and fast, and you can iterate like that. So let's try. Okay, this button works now. Let's try progress. Oh, what's marking for review? Okay, what's learned over time? Let's try to press some buttons here and take a look at progress. Progress is not working, it seems. Let's ask it to fix it. So, also, let's compare Replit or similar tools with local development. Replit has its own benefits in that context. So basically, you don't need to install anything on your machine. You don't need any IDE. You don't need any dependencies. You can just build applications in your browser, or even from your mobile mobile phone. Replit has its own mobile app. You can download it and build applications from your app. It's very convenient. Also, it has lots of AI assistants like agent, assistant, as we said before. It's cloud-based, so you can code from anywhere. You don't need like powerful machine, and also it has built-in deployment, so you can just click one button and deploy it, and also deploy with database, backend services, and etc. And you can easily collaborate with your friends or your team. So it's also a benefit here. Uh, if we talk about local development, in that case, you have complete control over your code, over your environment, dependencies, and tools that you want to use. Sometimes it may be faster to execute locally because you don't have latencies, and also it has obvious benefit that always available offline, and you don't need internet connection, so you can code in airplane, for example. And also it's better sometimes for large scale apps because Replit is focused more on small apps, and if you have some app with complex deployment process, Kubernetes, Docker, etc., it will be better, I think, to use it to use like local development uh, approach. Okay, let's take a look here. Let's take a look at the progress. Okay, now I have current streak 1 days. I have progress by category, but the chart is not working, or it seems so.
Maybe you can reload the page. Maybe this will help.
Let's try to
No, we
solve
didn't.
something. Take a look here. Oh, we have another another most challenging words. Okay, we have another chart here that don't have words long code chime. Maybe I can do it here. Okay, let's ask it to fix it. Okay, let's move on to the tips how to get better outcomes from Replit. So the first tip is do not rely solely on checkpoints that Replit makes. As you can see, each time Replit makes some change to code, it makes checkpoint, and you can easily roll back here, roll back to the checkpoint. But usually it's better to use Git and GitHub as well to track your changes. By default, it makes some commits here, but you have to add remote where it will push the changes. And that's usually better because you have more control over your versions. And because checkpoints, if you return to some checkpoint, it will erase all the checkpoints that was after that checkpoint, and you lose all the versions. I made that mistake once, and it wasn't good. Uh, okay, the chat's still not working. I don't know, but I think we can not fix it right now. It asks me about the charts. The chart's still not working. Okay. So the second tip is to start all over again, as I said before. Third one is through rollback changes. So sometimes Replit may break something that worked before, and it's okay to roll back. So don't hesitate if it breaks some things. Also, it is good to make small iterations, so not to add all the features at once and add new features one by one. So in that case, Replit agent will make less mistakes, and it will be easier for you to debug and for Replit to make a better application. And also use design references, so you can make screenshot of any website that you like, and ask it to inspire, make design inspired by that. Okay.
Ruslan, we
What is
have several
tricky?
questions here, and I guess one of these questions we can answer now.
Mhm.
The question is, does Replit hallucinate as other
Can you please
LLMs?
repeat?
Does Replit hallucinate like other LLMs?
Uh, yes, because it's based on LLMs, but they have lots of internal checks, I think, that reduces these hallucinations. But yes, it's the problem of all LLM-based applications that sometimes it hallucinates. Yeah, and due to that, it sometimes may break code that worked before and uh, write some strange code, but it has this feedback loop that you don't have to manage yourself, and it can fix itself. So this helps.
And the other question that we have is to explain rollback for non-technical users. I guess it just means to get to the previous version, simply, if I
Yeah,
understand that
yeah,
correctly.
yeah, 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 that's right. So if, for example, you ask Replit to add some feature, I don't know, like what we can add here. Let's ask it some strange, like add a feature uh, that will allow me to create new decks. So you asked that, and after that, Replit get crazy and broke all the code. You can just press the button roll back here, and it will return to the previous version. That works okay, and you can try again to add this feature or add another feature if you want. Okay, let's compare Replit to other agentic coding tools. There are uh, a couple of other tools that quite similar to Replit. One of the tools is the Bolt. It's a tool that looks kind of the same, and you can see an app with the similar prompts that I built in the Bolt app. So it looks like that. So I also asked it to build a design based on hyperskill as well. And Bolt, very similar to Replit, but uh, as a difference, you have to build your database layer based on other tool that calls Supabase. So you have to combine tools to get the same that you get in Replit in one package. So you have to use Supabase for database, and you have to use Netlify for your deployments. So it's a bit more complicated, and it's three different services. Of course, Bolt helps you to do that. So it has the same button deploy here and button to connect to Supabase, but it's still three different services. You have to manage them separately. You have to pay for them separately. So it's a bit more complicated than in Replit, where you can do it in the one package. And another similar tool is Lovable. I built this version of uh, project here. It has kind of fancy design, but the problem is that version that not working. So unfortunately, it haven't succeeded. Um, and in Lovable, it's a bit harder to work with code because you have to work with code through GitHub, and you can't write code in browser, so you have to use another tool for writing your code. A bit more complicated than the Replit, where you can like edit your code right here. So all your code is here, like your backend code, front-end code, and etc. And in case it's Lovable, you can deploy to Lovable, but you still have to use Supabase for your database and backend layers. So but you can. use other tools if you want. And the approach that we described before, like using user stories, using PRT, working for all of these tools is the same. So give your benefits for each of these tools and for each agentic tools, I guess. So we asked it to add functionality to manage decks. Okay, so I have now a deck manager where I can add new decks. So I can show how rollback works. So for example, we build this feature, but we don't like it and we want to roll back. You can just press the button rollback here and it should go back. And after that, it will ask you why you press that button, and you can describe the issues to Replit if it has some. So let's let's tell it that we just want to roll back that feature. A feature. And after that, we try to deploy this application so everyone in the internet can access it. Of course, it's a bit raw, but with if you will work on it 1 more hour, I guess it'll be much better. I can show you a better version of this that I spent a bit more time. I think this one looks good enough. So I think in this version of the project, Replit managed to follow the design rules the best and has much better UX and also has an ability to play words, but you still can't hear them. But and it tracks progress better. So here you can see that I have working chart and like it's a better version. And I will not say that I spent more time on this version, but it's AI, so it's deterministic coding. Sometimes you get better versions, so it's okay to try several times to build projects that you want. It's okay. Okay, I think we can deploy this version. So if we press that button, it asks us what we want. So it's pretty simple app and we can use one machine, I guess. And press the button deploy. So it's pretty simple. You usually don't have to fill anything yourself here and just press the buttons.
While it's
Okay,
deploying,
well,
maybe let's
yeah.
recap what we discussed today.
Let's get to the next slide. So I want to say that barrier to software development nowadays is lower than ever. Like just a few years ago, to build the full stack web app with backend and deploy it, you would need to study like 4 months. You need to know how to write code. You need to know how to use Git, how to debug code, how to set up environment, how to publish it, etc. Like now you can just use Replit and within an hour build the same app, and AI handles all the stuff. It's writes code, refactors, debugs code for you. You don't need any setup, so you just press one button and it will run your project. And it helps to prototype very fast, to build your ideas that before you have to find a product that will solve your problem, but now you can build this product for you and like it's changes the market a bit, I think, true. So in simple words, like more people, regardless of the technical background, can turn ideas into real working software, whether you're beginner, non-developer, or sole entrepreneur. And AI is making software creation as easy as writing a document. So it's available to everyone, I think. Yeah, let's have a quick recap.
Oh yeah, you can build AI web applications without knowing how to code, and you don't necessarily need to understand code and fix something in code. You can just write prompt and get what you need. And this can be used for multiple purposes, for automating repetitive tasks, for trying something new, for experimenting, for starting with something small, for like from MVP and see how it works, and like visually see what you have and work on it after. So yeah, it's a pretty nice tool for prototyping, for experimenting, and for automating as well. Yeah, and it's accessible to everyone.
Yeah. So let's take a look if you deployed successfully. Still not. Okay. So if you want to continue, we can offer you to join our bootcamp, where you can learn more about AI engineering and basically how to build AI application in AI native way. So it's a bootcamp that will last for 8 months. And basically, as you can see, the default software engineering is replaced slowly with like AI native development and AI engineering. And here with this bootcamp, you can obtain this new profession and enter the new market, and you will stand out in front of others default default software engineers with the new skills. This bootcamp is perfect for beginners, for career switchers, and even experienced developers that want to use to learn how to build AI applications and build them in AI native way with all the new tools that are available today and will be available later. So this bootcamp includes like one-on-one mentor support, working with all the new tools like Replit, Cursor, and everything that will be available later. You gain hands-on experience, so you build projects. It's not just theory. And after that, you will have a portfolio, and at the end, you will get career coaching. Like we will help you to find a job basically, like by helping with your CV, making reviews, and making career strategy for you. So for everyone who entered today's webinar, we have a promo code that will provide 25% off the price. And the closest bootcamp starts next week, and you can join by February 2025. So if you want, you can continue here. Let's check the deployment. So it seems that we deployed it, but I don't see the link. Okay, well, I will share a link later. Let's move on to Q&A section. So, Sonia, do we have any questions?
We have lots of questions actually. So for those who are watching, if you have any questions after what we've just shared, so please enter your questions into the Q&A section. But for now, we will answer the questions that were asked at the beginning of today's webinar. So the first question is why Replit? I guess this question we have already covered because we discussed its features, how it's used, how it can be applicable to any kind of task. So I guess that's why. The next one is, can we have this presentation sent to our emails? Yes, you will have all the materials from today's webinar sent after. What else?
You will have the recording of the webinar and the presentations as well. Also, we will provide a certificate for everyone who attends it
Yeah.
live. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, people here are asking to share prompts that we write into the Replit feed.
Sure, you will be able to copy them from the presentation.
Yeah, from the materials that we'll send after. Is there any standard template for the PRD, like software requirement specifications, or it's the same, or it is the same standard template for PRD?
If you search the web, you can find like several templates for PRD, but I don't think that there is a one standard one, but they're quite similar in what they stating. So yeah.
Okay. And does Replit support Spring Boot?
If I
as well
remember,
as other technologies that people are asking about, like Kotlin. So what languages does it work with and technologies?
For now, Replit, if I recall correctly, but I think I can take a look at Replit somewhere. It supports Python and JavaScript for backend and JavaScript for frontend. So it's that's tech. But I think that I can take a look and find it. So I think we can move to the next question, and I try to find that information.
Okay. Is it possible to create small computer programs with Replit, like a PDF reader? I guess. I guess you can create anything you want. Am I right?
No, yeah, basically everything that you can build that you can use in web browser, you can build with Replit. Yeah. But if you want to build mobile applications, you can use Bolt. It supports React Native mobile applications that you can install later on iPhones or Android phones.
So it means that you cannot build desktop applications at the moment, only web applications or mobile applications.
Yeah, with these tools,
Okay.
yes. But if you want to build desktop applications, you can use, I think, tools like Windsurf or Cursor Composer, but you will need more technical knowledge for that, so it will be harder.
Okay. The next question is about Android. I think we just covered it. So you can use Bolt for Android, right?
Yeah. It will be cross-platform mobile applications that will work on iOS and Android.
Are all these features on Replit free?
Unfortunately, Replit is paid, and it costs by default $25 per month. You can try Bolt for free. It has some free tokens for you to start. But yeah, Replit is paid, and with this subscription, you have some credits for agent. So as you can see at the top of the agent UI, you can see your usage for the project that we built today. And your subscription includes usually $25 in credits, and you can buy additional credits as you go. So it works like that. But if you want to try any tool for free, you can start with Bolt and try to build up here just to get the taste of AI JT coding, and then switch to Replit if you want more features. Yeah.
Okay, so it means that what we've done today, we spent only $2 on all the requests that we made. Okay. All right, great. Can I ask Replit to test the app?
It tests it if it fails. So like if app has some type of crash, yes, it will test it itself. But Replit doesn't have like computer use or browser use, so it can't press the buttons right now. But I think they will add it soon because it's a common technology nowadays already, and Replit will test itself.
Only the project that you built internally in Replit or an external app as well?
Can you repeat?
You mean you can test only apps that you built in Replit, or you can test external projects that you made outside of Replit as well?
When you build up in Replit, it will test itself. That's why. So
Okay.
if you build app externally, you can use a tool that's called browser use if it's web application. And I believe it's from Anthropic, but I'm not sure. And that tool will be able to press the buttons and even solve like complex quizzes. So it's very advanced, and it's not so expensive as computers use from Anthropic because that tool doesn't make screenshots. It use like DOM structure of the page, and it's much cheaper for that.
Okay. Question about Replit Assistant. What technologies does it work with? Can it work with?
It's the same technologies that is Replit agent works. So it's
So Python and JavaScript? These
yeah,
technologies you mean?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Actually, Replit itself supports more languages. As I find it supports Java, it supports C, I guess, language, but agent supports only this two, like Python and JavaScript. So it's like current limitation of it. But I think later they will add other types of languages.
Okay. The other question is about deployment, how to make web app made in Replit how to host it and how to make it available for users. You should just press deploy, right? Or you should do
You
something
just
else.
press deploy and that's all. So it's very simple.
And it's
here is the link actually for the project, and you can access it right now. I think I can share QR code, so it will be on the recording. So we deployed a project that we built in Replit, and it was like just pressing one button. That's all.
Oh.
Yeah, if you need some advanced setup for deployment, if you build a more sophisticated app, you can manage deployment. You can make it after scale with load. So it's all possible with Replit. By default, we use very simple setup, but you can make it more complex if you need.
The next one is about adding more languages, but I'm not sure what this question is about. Maybe about, I'm not sure whether this question is about programming languages or other languages like.
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe another can specify.
Okay. All right. Can you specify which libraries to use?
But by default, Replit choose libraries itself. If I recall correctly, it use Flask for Python backend and React for frontend. But you also could use Node.js and Express, if I remember correctly, for backend if you want JavaScript version.
Okay. And
So
where
yeah.
can we see the generated code? Can we see it?
I think we can share the code through. You can see the code yourself while you're building your project if the question is about it. But if the question if we can share the code that we built today, we can I think share it to GitHub and paste a link to that. True.
Okay. Is it hard to debug? I mean, at some point you'll have a bug that may be Replit couldn't solve. So like, at what point does it stop debugging? Is there some like ultimate bug?
Sometimes it might be a very simple bug, but Replit sometimes rarely gets stuck on that place. So in that case, if you can just open usually you can just open the file and the bug will be highlighted uh, by the static analysis tool, and you can fix it yourself very easily. And somehow Replit can figure it out, but it uh, very rare cases. So yeah.
Mhm. Okay, so you can always fix bug if
Yeah,
it
but
appears.
sure, of course, a moment when your app is so big that Rapid can't can comprehend it, and it became harder to add new features. And in that case, you might be want to split your app into several less uh, smaller apps, and mm, you develop them separately, I think, like
Okay,
microservices and etc.
okay. The question is, what happens to software engineers? What's gonna happen to them?
It's a big open question.
Yeah.
So I don't think that software engineers will be replaced with AI, but software engineers of the future will not be the same engineers as now. I think that software engineering will make as a next step towards more abstract layers of like programming. So you will not like write a code like now, and but you will manipulate with like higher level entities, and it will be called programming, I think, but we don't know. So if you will get AGI in this year, you'll never know how it change.
Okay. I guess this question is related to AI skills. Like, do modern software engineers need to know to have some AI skills to be able to do AI engineering, this kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think this is a simple question. I think yes,
Okay.
because it definitely increases your chances in the job market, and overall you will look better uh, in front of employees among other engineers without the skills. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
uh, kind of simple choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. About Kotlin, we already answered. The other question is, would you recommend using this, I guess, Replit, to start a business, using the assistant to create the code base to a certain level and then scale from there after the business takes off?
Yeah,
What
sure.
would you say?
I think you can, but it depends of your business. But I think Replit can cover like lots of use cases for for business owners. Like it has Stripe integration, and you can accept payments, and so you can build an app and try to earn money with it. So yes.
So instead of building some landings and hiring like real developers, you can do it yourself with Replit.
Yeah, it's very easy to build landings in Replit. So you can, as we said in our approach, provide a screenshot of other landings that you like and ask Replit to build a landing for your business and integrate Stripe there so you can get the payments. So
Okay. Can we use the backend here to work for web application as well as apps for iOS and Android?
if I understand correctly, you can it may work like that. So you can build backend app in Replit and build mobile app in Bolt and connect them. So and it will work. Yeah.
But how do you connect them?
After you build an app in Replit, you ask Replit assistant, I guess, to provide your or to add documentation for API and paste this documentation to Bolt, and
Okay.
Bolt will integrate it.
Okay. And we have the last question. Replit or any other support to upload some code that I have an issue to solve it.
Yeah, I think I understand the question. You can upload your code to Replit and ask it to fix it. It will try.
Okay. And we have the last question. Is if these two are communicating, how can security be ensured? Like I guess Bolt and Replit for backend.
If it relates to Bolt and the Replit integration, you will you should integrate authorization to your backend and frontend and mobile app, and like that, it will be secured. So there is it's a classical task of authorization, I guess, if I understand the question correctly.
Okay, these were all the questions. Thanks for everyone who asked them.
Yeah, thank you everyone for attending this webinar.
Yeah, we hope that this webinar was useful and that you would go and try something to build something on your own. And good luck with that. And thanks for spending time with us today.
Yeah, thank you all. Bye.
Bye.